Do you believe that the Netherlands is a democracy with a rule of law? Well, I don't think so. I grew up here last year. I spent some time in pre-trial detention while they were investigating me over a tweet I had sent. They claimed that I had threatened a politician with death. I had not. I had compared the politician with a cow. And they suggested that I had made a TikTok video in which I would have called for the violent destruction of the state, which I also had not. I had produced a thought experiment. It was a hypothetical situation where I questioned, what would you do if we would overthrow the state? What would happen in such a situation? What would we do next? So while they were investigating me, eventually my court date came up. And I'm waiting in this holding cell for the police car to pick us up, to take us to the courthouse. And while I'm sitting there, there's a guy sitting next to me in the cell. I can hear this guy walking down the hallway. He opens the door and he's holding this clipboard, checking our names. Me, Mr. Conrad, and this other fellow. As he walks off, I can hear him say to his colleague, this Conrad fellow, me, he'll be released. The other guy is going to get a year in prison. Neither of us had seen the judge. We hadn't been to court yet. So I got to court. It was a whole show, and I call it a show because that's all it really was. And then I was released. But before I was released, I had to be returned to prison first. The other guy was in the car with me on the way back. And he had gotten a year, just as was predicted. Do you believe that a democratic state with a rule of law somehow needs to pre-convict people even before they've been to court, before you've even seen the judge? Because what it suggests to me is that it didn't matter whatsoever I would have told the judge. My conviction was already pre-approved by some higher power, some bureaucrat somewhere else. That's not the rule of law. That's not how a justice system is supposed to work. You're not supposed to be convicted before you've even been tried. And that's exactly what happens in the Netherlands. So in the Netherlands, we have two tracks of the justice system. We have the police court system. That's what I had to deal with. In the police court system, usually you are always convicted. I was released because they gave me a sort of slap on the wrist. I had to do 20 hours of community service for things I did not do, to be clear. The other guy had been violent at a party or something. They gave him a year. Right? But this is ridiculous. Forget this